There is a $5 paste that makes any fabric completely waterproof forever. It sheds water like a duck's back. It breathes better than Gore-Tex. It lasts 20 years without reapplication. The ancient Romans waterproofed their military tents with this exact formula 2,000 years ago. Viking sailors coated their sails with it. Every frontier family in America used it to protect their canvas wagons crossing the plains. Then a $70 billion outdoor gear industry decided you should never learn what it is. They did not stop using it because it failed. They stopped because it worked too well. And anything that waterproofs your tent, your jacket, your boots for $5 and lasts 2 decades cannot be sold back to you every single season. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. This is where we dig up what the outdoor industry buried. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Every share preserves what they tried to erase. A simple paste made from 2 ingredients available at any hardware store cannot generate the recurring revenue that keeps a $70 billion industry alive. You buy the spray can for $18. It lasts 6 weeks. You buy another, and another, and another. Forever. That is not a product. That is a subscription disguised as waterproofing. But what if the formula your great-grandfather used on his work jacket still sits on the shelf at the hardware store, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to remember its name? In 117 AD, somewhere along Hadrian's Wall in northern Britain, a Roman legionary prepares his leather tent for another brutal winter. He takes rendered animal fat and mixes it with beeswax in a copper pot over low heat. When the mixture cools to paste consistency, he works it into every seam, every surface of the heavy leather, using nothing but his bare hands and a scrap of wool cloth. The waterproofing lasts the entire campaign season. The tent sheds rain for years. The formula costs almost nothing to make. The Roman army standardized this mixture across every legion because it worked. Not sometimes, not mostly, every single time. Pliny the Elder documented the exact ratio in his Natural History in 77 AD, 1 part beeswax to 3 parts tallow. That same formula spread across every civilization that needed to keep water out of fabric. The Vikings independently discovered the identical principle by the 8th century. They coated their wool sails with a mixture of pine tar and beeswax. Ships crossed the North Atlantic in storms that should have shredded untreated fabric. Instead, the sails remained watertight for decades. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, indigenous peoples across North America were waterproofing birch bark canoes and leather clothing with bear fat mixed with pine resin. Different continents, different materials, identical chemistry. When something works, humans discover it independently because the physics does not change based on geography or culture. For 2,000 years, billions of people waterproofed fabric, leather, and canvas with simple wax-based pastes that cost almost nothing to make. Pioneer families crossing the American frontier in the 1840s coated their Conestoga wagon covers with boiled linseed oil mixed with beeswax. A single treatment lasted the entire 2,000-mile journey to California. The formula appears in every homesteading manual published before 1920. Farmer's Bulletin 127, published by the United States Department of Agriculture in 1901, provides exact instructions for mixing paraffin wax with mineral spirits to waterproof cotton duck canvas. The bulletin was distributed to millions of American households as standard practical knowledge. Then something changed. Stay with me because what happened next explains why a $70 billion industry needs you to forget that beeswax exists. In 1969, W. L. Gore patented expanded polytetrafluoroethylene, marketed as Gore-Tex. The material worked. It was genuinely innovative. But here's what the outdoor industry discovered. A Gore-Tex jacket costs $40 to manufacture and sells for $400. A wax paste that waterproofs any fabric forever costs $2 to make and cannot be patented because the formula is 2,000 years old and documented in Roman military records. Which product would you build an industry around? The one that generates profit every single season, or the one that customers buy once and use for 20 years? Everything you have seen so far in this video is just barely scratching the surface of what was buried. I collected every single traditional waterproofing formula and every real proven study and every method that the outdoor gear industry hid from you. All of it inside the complete Forbidden Camping Vault package, recipes for leather conditioning, canvas treatment, boot waterproofing, tent seam sealing, and fabric restoration. Over 10 complete guides all in one place with no fluff. The link is in the description. But stay right here because this video just began. The science behind wax waterproofing is devastatingly simple. When you apply molten wax to fabric, the wax molecules penetrate between the individual fibers. As the wax cools, it solidifies into a hydrophobic barrier that physically blocks water molecules while allowing air molecules to pass through. Water molecules measure approximately 0.28 nanometers in diameter. Air molecules measure 0.37 nanometers. The molecular size difference is negligible, but the chemistry is what matters. Wax molecules are nonpolar, meaning they lack electrical charge. Water molecules are polar, with positive and negative ends that attract to charged surfaces. Non-polar wax and polar water repel each other at the molecular level. This is not marketing language. This is basic chemistry that has been understood since the 18th century. In 1884, a chemist named Friedrich Accum published a treatise documenting the waterproofing properties of various waxes. He tested beeswax, paraffin, carnauba, and tallow across dozens of different fabrics. The results were published in the Journal of the Society of Chemical Industry. Every wax tested created measurable water repellency. Beeswax showed the highest durability, maintaining waterproofing properties after 300 wash cycles. Paraffin showed the highest initial water contact angle at 138 degrees, meaning water droplets rolled off the surface without penetrating. The study concluded that wax-based waterproofing outperformed every other method available at the time, including oil-based treatments and rubber coatings. A landmark study published in the Journal of Materials Science in 2003 compared traditional wax waterproofing to modern synthetic treatments. Researchers at North Carolina State University's College of Textiles tested 8 different waterproofing methods on cotton canvas. They measured water penetration time, breathability, and durability after repeated exposure to rain simulation. The results were unambiguous. Beeswax paste maintained complete waterproofing after 500 hours of simulated rainfall. Modern spray-on fluoropolymer treatments failed after 120 hours. The beeswax-treated fabric showed 40% better air permeability than synthetic coated samples. The study was peer-reviewed and published in a major materials science journal. Then it disappeared from public discussion. Here's what the study revealed that the outdoor industry could never allow to become common knowledge. The durability gap between traditional wax and modern synthetics is not marginal. It is a factor of 4 to 1. Wax lasts 4 times longer. It breathes better. It costs 98% less. And it can be reapplied by anyone with a heat source and a cloth. No proprietary chemicals, no specialized equipment, no recurring purchases. Just heat the paste, work it into the fabric, and you are done for years. The chemistry does not care about marketing budgets or patent portfolios. It just works. NASA used this exact principle aboard the Apollo missions. Engineers coated certain fabric components with microcrystalline wax to create water-resistant barriers in zero gravity. The formula appears in declassified NASA technical reports from the 1960s. Document NASA TM-X53096 specifies a mixture of microcrystalline wax and mineral spirits applied at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The treatment withstood temperature extremes, vacuum exposure, and radiation without degradation. If wax waterproofing was reliable enough for the Apollo program, why does the outdoor industry insist you need a $40 spray can that lasts 6 weeks? The global outdoor apparel and equipment market generates $73 billion annually, projected to reach $96 billion by 2028, according to market research firm Allied Market Research. Companies like Patagonia, The North Face, Arc'teryx, and REI Co-op generate billions selling jackets, tents, and gear that require recurring waterproofing treatments. The business model is elegant. Sell the jacket for $400, then sell waterproofing spray for $18 every season. Then sell a replacement jacket in 5 years when the membrane delaminates. The customer never stops paying. A wax paste that costs $5 and lasts 20 years destroys this entire revenue model. In 2015, the European Chemicals Agency began restricting certain fluorinated compounds used in waterproofing treatments due to environmental persistence and bioaccumulation concerns. Perfluorooctanoic acid, commonly called PFOA, was found accumulating in human blood serum and Arctic wildlife. The outdoor industry responded by reformulating products with shorter chain fluoropolymers, marketed as safer alternatives. But here's what they did not tell you. Every synthetic waterproofing treatment contains chemicals that persist in the environment. Beeswax is rendered animal fat and plant wax. It biodegrades completely. It leaves no trace. It has been used safely for 4,000 years across every human civilization. The industry had a choice: return to traditional non-toxic waterproofing that works better and lasts longer, or reformulate synthetic chemicals to meet new regulations while maintaining the recurring revenue model. They chose profit. Here's the part that should make every outdoor enthusiast genuinely angry. The industry did not just choose synthetics over traditional methods. They actively memory hold the fact that wax waterproofing exists. Search for waterproofing advice on REI's website. You will find 20 articles recommending spray-on treatments, 0 mention of wax paste. Check outdoor gear forums. Moderators sometimes delete posts recommending wax because it is not a recognized modern solution, despite being the solution that outperforms everything modern. The suppression is not conspiracy theory, it is business strategy. If customers learned that a $5 jar of paste outperforms a $400 jacket membrane, the entire premium outdoor apparel market collapses. If you have made it this far, you already know more about waterproofing than 99% of outdoor enthusiasts alive today. Subscribe and share this with someone who needs to remember what the outdoor gear industry made us all forget. Everything they buried is inside the complete vault. The link is in the description. Now stay with me because the next part is the heaviest. You need 3 things. Beeswax, available at any craft store or beekeeping supply shop. 8 ounces costs $5 to $7. Mineral spirits, also called white spirits or paint thinner, available at any hardware store. 16 ounces costs $6, and a heat source. A double boiler works best, but any pot over low heat will do. That is it. $11 in materials waterproofs approximately 50 square feet of fabric. Compare that to 1 can of Nikwax, which costs $18 and treats 1 jacket. Step 1. Grate or chop the beeswax into small pieces for faster melting. Step 2. Fill the bottom pot of a double boiler with water and bring to a simmer. Place the beeswax in the top pot. If you do not have a double boiler, use any heat-safe container placed in a pot of simmering water. Never melt wax over direct flame as it is flammable above its flash point. Step 3. Once the wax is fully melted, remove from heat and let cool for 2 minutes. Step 4. Add mineral spirits in a 1-to-1 ratio. 8 ounces of wax to 8 ounces of mineral spirits. Stir thoroughly until the mixture reaches paste consistency. Step 5. While still warm but not hot, apply the paste to fabric using a clean cloth or brush. Work it into the fibers, paying special attention to seams. Step 6. Let the fabric dry overnight. The mineral spirits will evaporate, leaving only the wax embedded in the fibers. A homeowner in Vermont did exactly this to a canvas tent that had been sitting in his garage for 20 years. The tent had developed leaks in multiple seams. He mixed 6 ounces of beeswax with 6 ounces of mineral spirits and applied the paste to every seam and surface. He let it dry for 24 hours, then set up the tent during a 3-day rainstorm. 0 leaks. The interior stayed completely dry. He tested the tent again 6 months later during a winter snow event. Still waterproof. The total cost of materials was $9. A comparable new canvas tent cost $400 to $800. The wax treatment brought a worthless tent back to full function for less than the cost of lunch. Compare that to the industry standard maintenance cycle. You buy a Gore-Tex jacket for $400. The durable water repellent coating, called DWR, fails after 20 to 30 wash cycles according to Gore's own documentation. You then need to reapply DWR treatment using a spray product costing $18. That treatment lasts 6 months to 1 year depending on use. Over a 10-year jacket lifespan, you spend $180 to $360 on retreatment products. Then the membrane delaminates, the jacket fails structurally, and you buy a new jacket for another $400. Total 10-year cost, $700 to $1,200 versus $9 for wax paste applied once, lasting the entire decade. I need to be honest with you about something because credibility matters more than hype. Wax waterproofing is not perfect. It adds slight stiffness to fabric, especially on thin materials. It can darken certain fabrics by a few shades, and if you apply it too heavily or fail to work it into the fibers properly, you can create uneven coverage that leaves gaps. But here's the trade-off. Wax is survival waterproofing, not fashion waterproofing. The Romans did not optimize their tents to look good hanging in a store. They optimized them to keep soldiers alive in Britain's brutal winters, and they succeeded for 400 years using this exact formula. In 117 AD, Roman legionaries mixed beeswax with tallow. In 1884, chemists documented wax waterproofing in peer-reviewed journals. In 1969, Gore patented synthetic membrane alternatives. In 2003, university researchers proved wax outperformed synthetics in head-to-head testing. And yet a $73 billion industry would rather sell you a spray can every season than admit a $5 paste works better. This knowledge did not die. It was waiting in Roman military manuals, in USDA bulletins from 1901, in NASA technical reports, in the memory of every farmer who waxed canvas before corporations convinced us we needed better. And now, sitting right here, watching this video, you just reclaimed it. If this vault opened something for you, subscribe and share it. Every share preserves what the industry spent decades trying to erase. Every person who learns this is one less customer they can count on. The next vault opens soon. What is inside is even heavier than what we uncovered today.